Hello everyone, my name is Richard Powers. I'm the club and community manager for the south of England. I've been working with England Boxing for 13 years and worked with a lot of stakeholders, including schools, colleges, universities from this. Today's presentation is all about what we can offer the colleges across the country and how we could work in a partnership as an NGB and what we can offer as a sport. So the first thing we'll be looking at is boxing sessions at a college. So a boxing session at a college can be part of an enrichment session, an inclusion session. It could be English second language session, or it could be staff wellbeing session. So a few boxing clubs are based in colleges across the country. This could be part of an academic platform, or it can be a home for a boxing club. But what happens is that a lot of colleges do contact my colleagues, the NGB, around obviously offering that enrichment session. So it could be an after school provision, so after college provisions. It could be something during the lunchtime that you could offer from there. It could be part of an inclusion program. So working with your SEN departments, etc., from there, and having that kind of sort of enrichment around that. It could be working with obviously the ESOL or English as second language as well, obviously integration these students into the college and having that kind of thing where they could actually do something together, such as a sport. Or it could be staff wellbeing sessions as well. So that they're quite the demand offers or what the colleges would like, and that could be something that we could facilitate via local boxing clubs. So getting local boxing tutors to come in and deliver the sessions from a local club within your borough, town, etc. And then you could signpost your students to the club to have that sustainability and that pathway into the competition as well. It could be where staff itself from the sports department, or if you have your sports colleagues, like games makers, they used to be called back in the day, who are interested in delivering anything, they could take a England Boxing course on and actually deliver part of this enrichment program. This moves us on to potentially hosting the boxing club into a college. So as you have facilities, there might be something that you might want to consider hosting a boxing club as part of your college facilities. So therefore you might not have obviously during the day obviously it's curriculum time, but in the evenings the facilities is not being used, so therefore you could house a club. So in theory, if a club was looking for a new home or you would like to create a boxing club, you could potentially do this within your facilities, and therefore bring in additional income into estates and facilities management, etc. from that, or actually hosting something there for your students to actually continue that pathway into the sport as a consideration. So hosting an actual club operating outside or inside the club college. Again, this could be a community hub for aspiring athletes. It could be an after school club model as well, but being a club, so you can actually have an active club that's part of a pathway. So going into the competition pathway and getting boxers to compete and represent for the club. We are also looking at an associate club model as part of our membership. So you've got two types we're looking at. So the first one is our actual standard model, which is a boxing club. So therefore you're an active member of 1,087 boxing clubs across the country, and you compete in a platform. So you compete obviously juniors, youths, etc. from that. Then we're looking at a new thing that we're starting for the new season, which starts in June, so only a few weeks time, and that will be an associate club. So someone that wants to just do recreational boxing, so it would be basically all the bag work, pad work, circuit training, etc., as a normal club would do. But the only thing you do as a separate from an associate club is you just do not offer any contact, so no sparring, no obviously competition element for that. It'd just be basically like a non-contact boxing recreational session, but you could be an associate club for that, and that comes with all the benefits and policies and insurances with England Boxing. Or the other model would be a pathway into an fully active boxing club going down the competition pathway. This could provide links to local clubs and competitions as well. Then we look at what we could offer as boxing courses. So we could break this down into what the students could do. So student trained to lead sessions. So it could be such as the students in your colleges are studying BTEC in sport, MVQs in sports, personal training, leadership, etc. It can go in part and parcel with some of your public service courses, etc. as well. They could be trained, so they could have these additional qualifications that could pad up their obviously MVQs, etc. from there. So a pathway into coaching and qualifications for that. It could be where you're hosting courses on site for us in theory. So we deliver courses all across the country, and we're looking for venues to host it courses for us. So it could be stuff that is availability in the weekends where your college is closed, but you want to obviously sublet it out for facilities. So therefore we could look at that and host a course there at your venue, or it could be in evenings as well. So there's a mixture of courses. We could break this down into courses that we can offer to students and also potential staff as well. So you've got the England Boxing Activated course, which is a 1-day course, which is 5 hours in total, which is basically teaching people how to deliver non-contact boxing in a school, college, university, youth club setting, and it's part of the school games model. So these sports trust, the youth sport trust organization, and then that gives them that kind of leadership in sports. So it's non-contact youth sport trust model. From that, learning how to do skill games, skill cards, warm up, technical aspects, some pad work and some technique with the boxing. Then the other one's the England Boxing Box course, which is our personal trainer course. So basically anyone who's in the personal training industry or going into the sports industry, this is a course for them. It's a whole day course learning how to deliver, again, non-contact boxing, but in the personal training environment, so PT environment. The other course we could offer as well, if people are looking at that additional sort of inclusive side of boxing, we got the England Boxing Coaching People with Parkinson's course, so PWP, and that's working with UK Parkinson's around teaching people who have got Parkinson's disease, just another element of health and well-being, just learning non-contact boxing, but using that as a tool. A lot of stuff around the social inclusion and socializing with people on with Parkinson's disease, and we have similar courses around that as well with this England Boxing Mind course around mental health. So there's additional benefits looking around social prescribing and looking at inclusion pathway. And then you've got the first pathway into your coaching as your pathway into England Boxing would be the England Boxing Level 1 course, similar to like any other NGB courses. Is the first pathway into sort of coaching with that, and that's a qualification as well, and that's a 4-day course as well. So there's considerations there for staff, but also added bolt-ons for the courses that you do offer your students, such as obviously any sport courses or anything additional such as public service. Then we look at the other opportunities there. So England Boxing major events. So potentially the colleges hosting major events or local events for your boxing club. So showcasing college facilities, raising your profile regionally, engaging students in sports leadership. So the opportunity is there where you have a local boxing club that is looking for a venue. So hiring a venue like your massive sports hall, and in theory you could make money by hiring it, but also having the opportunity for the boxing club to host obviously their platform, like a day show, etc. Then the national government body ourselves, we're looking for venues to host our national platform. So we have 7 national competition events throughout the year, and that goes from schools to juniors to youths to developments to national elites, from that to Women and Girls Box Cup from there. So we host these competitions throughout the calendar, and we're looking for venues to host it. So we use currently leisure centres, or we use university campuses, etc. from that. So, but we are aware that some colleges do have some really big facilities and can host a platform like this. So if any colleges are interested in obviously looking at hosting a national platform for England Boxing, that'd be amazing for ourselves and yourself as that, and partnership as well. But obviously you hiring your facilities and making an additional income for the college. Or you could look at the lower level of a platform such as a local club show, where you have a local club in your region or town, and you obviously they hire the facilities from you and they host their own little club show from there. So there's an option there as event hires, etc. Then you've got the addition of boxing academies. So you have 2 types of academies with colleges. You've got the DICE academies, which you'll have a selected colleges across the country and each region in theory. So you have the London DICE, you have the Southwest DICE, you have the Time Tees Weird DICE from there, and it's selected in 1 college per region. From there, we get an allocated amount per year, and it's 100 students per year for DICE, and they're spread across each college from that. So it's not 100 people per college, it's across the 8 DICE organizations we have across the country. So in theory, the divide up from there is potentially probably about 15 students roughly from there that will be part of the DICE program as part of that college from that. And then you've got the other option as an alternative to DICE, is actually having a bespoke boxing academy embedded into your college. So I've worked with several colleges in London, so West London College, Ealing Hammers, West London College, Barnet Southgate College from that. So the platform is, in theory, what they do is they get something independent that comes in, so a boxing organisation that obviously offers 8 hours of academic boxing, and the academic boxing will be offering alongside their functional skills and also their academics that the students have selected, which could be BTEC, MVQs, etc. from it. The whole idea is to have the boxing academy bedded into the colleges like the carrot and stick. So obviously when you leave secondary school, you've got a choice of where to go. You're either going to go do an apprenticeship or you're going to go to college. And from that, if the young person is embedded into a boxing club, they're going to look at that potentially going, oh, I'm going to go to this college because I like boxing, I want to go down that pathway, so therefore I'm going to apply for this college comparison to this college that doesn't offer the boxing from that. So therefore you might get the additional 20 to 30 more learners that will attend your department, which could be in sport from there. And that's the model. I've worked with these colleges for 12 to 13 years now, and that's a similar blueprint they have. So basically you go through the recruitment stage as you would do now at the moment. Since the beginning of the year, you go through the recruitment. Every half-term holiday, they do recruitment. They get people to come and do trials for the boxing academy. Then once they've done their trials and the boxing academy explains what the program is, so it's 8 hours of like extra boxing, a curriculum boxing, etc. Then the offer is to look at potentially doing your higher education. So we need you to be part of this program, but you need to study the MVQs, BTECs, etc. from that. Some of the students that are on these academies are actually embedded into other lessons or other sort of like courses. So some of them on electrical, some of them are on construction, some of them are part of the public service course. As long as it aligns with their timetable, they can still do the boxing academy, and they obviously pay the provider a service for that, in theory, for what they offer. Some of the blueprint they do offer as part of this is similar to what you can do with going for courses, but what they embed in with the boxing academies here is to make them employable in theory at the end of their 2 years or 3 years in college, or they go into higher education to go in to get that degree from it. So what we try and do is embed the sort of structure of how to learn to become a coach and how to progress into that. So usually the academy structures are an activated course, which is obviously a non-contact boxing course that teaches people in the youth club, school, college, university setting, so they learn how to do that. A leaders award is like a young leaders award in boxing, so learning to become a leader into the sport, understanding the sport, coaching a little bit with that, so warm-up games, cool-down games, etc. Then you've got the England Boxing Coaching People Parkinson's course, which is obviously a unique course, but looking at obviously that disability inclusion side to it, to show them just another, giving them another string to their bow. Then you look at the England Boxing Safeguarding course, so they learned obviously the safeguarding, as you know, if you're in a teaching environment, you have to do a safeguarding course and you have to renew that every 3 years. We give them the opportunity to go in their safeguarding course, so they're ready to go out and deliver obviously sessions from that. England Boxing Personal Training course, which is the box course, which is a 1-day course learning how to do non-contact boxing in a personal PT training environment. And then the England Boxing Level 1 course, they get to do that. So that's the first pathway in actually assisting in a boxing club, and that's a 4-day course. Alongside that, they also do their first aid in sport, and they also do a DBS as well. So it's that kind of platform you give the students from that. That's it for my presentation. I said